Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Hurt me more. I'm ready for a real run. That's acceptable. Don't give me this nonsense, Azazel. Oh, you can't lose as long as you got a functioning cerebral cortex. Look, I haven't always fit the base level requirements of that one. There's your seed, JBTC Zans. Zans? Did somebody... Don't do it. Did somebody say... Okay, it's from Undertale. I mean, if we're talking about classics, does that name get brought up? Absolutely. I don't know where I'm going from there, but that's okay. Y'all excited? A new episode of 90 Day Fiancé tonight? Don't go there? Okay. Alright, I won't go there then. I just need to know what happens to Anna and Mersal. The couple that bonded over their love of beekeeping but can't have a conversation and are about to get married, and he's been denying the existence of her 3 existing children to his parents until the day that they die. I just gotta know, okay? It makes all of my problems seem so very, very small. Which they are, you know, to other people. To me, they feel large, but they always feel large, you know? I kind of believe... I was thinking about that with respect to food, you know? I think I might have accidentally taken the Matrix pill about food. Because, you know, we live in a great food city. And we go out to eat fairly often. We've been eating a lot out, especially because my parents are here. You can take it out of context, whatever. At this point, I got so many out-of-context awful things that have been uttered just by happenstance in videos that's like not even busting the top, you know, 25. I'm nonplussed is what I'm trying to say. Please get out of here. I think we just gotta go. But I was thinking, like, sometimes people say this meal is like the best meal I've had in my life. It's so much better than anything I've ever tasted before. And I've started to wonder if I've actually, like... I don't experience that too frequently. I do experience a lot of, like, whoa, this is so good. But very rarely do I have my mind blown by food. Feel like I almost wonder if there's almost like a human asymptote. You know what I mean? Like, you hit a certain threshold and it's just like you... Look, I'm not saying food can't get better. But I'm saying, what if there's not that big of a quality ceiling for food, you know? There's obviously a quality floor. You could eat a shoe or poison. You could eat stuff that's, you know, tasteless. You could eat stuff that's barely edible, stuff that's decent, etc., etc. But, you know, what if it doesn't actually get better than superb, you know? Think about that from time to time. You know, I feel like so much of, like, in games is a really good example, you know? People are like, they constantly believe, like, the next thing is gonna be the best thing ever. Not always, and there's a healthy and unhealthy level of cynicism, but, you know, especially, like, E3 is the perfect example, right? Developers and publishers talk up stuff that people honestly should not care about at all. With our new ray tracing, rain, TressFX, hair, particle simulation, ray tracing, did we mention the ray tracing? We'll have an unprecedented level of visual fidelity on the PlayStation 4, Microsoft Xbox One X, and Nintendo Switch. Then people have arguments about it online. What, you're not excited for Tomb Raider 8? Haven't you seen the ray tracing TressFX hair fidelity simulation? I feel like that doesn't happen in food, you know? Well, actually, that might not be true, because people went nuts over the Popeye's chicken sandwich, but I was talking about haute cuisine, sweetheart. You know, amuse-bouches, omakases, and stuff like that. I don't feel like anybody's like, you know, yo... Chef Rob Feeney's about to come up with a new rotisserie chicken sandwich recipe that's absolutely gonna knock your socks off. It's gonna take the culinary world by storm. All of the new inventions in the world of food have to go through a healthy period of skepticism. You know, Cheeto-dusted macaroni and cheese, stuff like that. Walking tacos. Locos tacos. Various different variants of tacos. It's not to say food doesn't have trends, you know? What's the big trend where you are right now? What's popping off? We get them all, which is not meant to be braggadocious, because some of them I don't really get down with, to be honest. I like cold brew a lot. Cold brew is stuck around. Look, I'll take it. I probably shouldn't, but I will. And we'll hope that we get charged here from this deal with the devil. The current thing, I mean, we also had poke, and it's still going strong, but probably not as strong. Poke, delicious. I love it. We had a big ramen craze. It's led to some of, like, the enduring best ramen places in the city, for sure. But the current, like, you can't, and it's not like it didn't exist in Vancouver before, you know, like 2 years ago. It was still popular, but it had a recent, like, absurd explosion. It's definitely bubble tea, boba tea, whatever you call it where you're from. Don't hit me with the it's boba. Don't hit me with the it's bubble. It's both, sweetheart. It's a regional difference. There is no correct. There's just what you learned versus what other people say. Obviously, we will take both of these here. It's not bad. Marked as dangerous, but we got some really, really good stuff going on. I don't get down with the bubble tea, boba tea. Now, I go to the establishments quite frequently. I will either accompany my wife, or maybe, you know, she'll be streaming and I'll be done work, and I'll go, hey, I'm gonna go to the old bubble tea emporium. Would you like something? And then she gives me an order, and I have to recite it in my head for like 20 minutes. All right, a lychee fruit slush with tapioca pearls. If they don't have pearls, the matcha powder is okay. If they don't have matcha powder, ask about the quality of their grass jelly. If they have a subpar grass jelly, just get it plain. If the grass jelly is passable or better, then please indeed take that. You get the idea. Mostly playing it up for a bit. But me, myself, I don't really get down with the boba. It's not that it tastes bad. It's just that with God as my witness, I never, and this is probably a good thing, because, you know, it's already easy enough for me to gain weight, to be honest, but I don't really ever feel a compulsion for sweet foods. That's not to say I dislike them. It's not like I eat a, you know, like a cupcake or something like that, and I'm like, wow, this is horrible. But I basically, oh, that's real nice. I basically never, I have infinite willpower when it comes to sweet stuff, for the most part. You could leave an entire chocolate cake in front of me. It would last through the night. If I got hungry, I would eat it. It's not like, you know, I'm not trying to say I'm immune to the constraints of thermodynamics. I'm just saying, you know, if I was not hungry, it would not be an intrusive thought for me. You left an open bag of Doritos in front of me and said, hey, you could have one or two. I'll eat half the bag. And then when you come back, you're going to be like, where's the Doritos? And I'll be like, I don't know, dude. It looks like the bag was just like half empty for whatever reason. And you'll be like, and then I'll be like, yeah, I gotta go. Gotta go wash the orange off my hands. Anyway, where was I going with this? Food trends. Hold on. We have not seen an item room yet. So we should really do our all to try to figure this out for sure. Trying to think of what else has popped off recently. There's some food trends that are not really for me. You know, hot pot is insanely popular here. I wouldn't even call it a food trend. It's probably, you know, a little bit nonsensical for a food that's, you know, thousands of years old. However, you know what I mean when I say it's become more popular. It's rising in popularity, i.e. a trend. And I'm not saying it was invented 2 weeks ago like that combination croissant donut, the cronut, you know? I don't get down with the hot pot that much. You know what I can get down with? I know implicitly I can get down with, despite having never actually consumed it. Bone broth. For whatever reason, bone broth has become like insanely popular. I don't even really know what it is. Except I think it might be just stock. And I can get down with it. If it's just stock and seasoning, yes, you might say, isn't that just a soup? Yes, but like a, you know, a really thin soup. I can absolutely get down with that. I love broth. I could just, you know, I'm not saying I should. But, you know, sometimes I'll be making like a stew. I hope this isn't a gross revelation. Making a stew or making a soup. Making my way downtown, walking fast, stations passing, I'm homebound. A stew-do-do-do-do-do-do, a stew-do-do-do-do-do-do soup. I'll open up the, you know, container of beef or chicken broth. Once I put in as much as is necessary to cover the dish, I'll just take a little hit right out of the quart, you know? A little bit of cold bone broth is better warm, don't get me wrong, okay? But even cold, it's just like, you know, this is gonna sound pretty gross, but it's just like salty meat juice. You know, it's pretty good, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, you've said too much. That's me in the corner. That's me over the sink, drinking cups of beef stock. Trying to drink more than you. Okay, easy. And I'm darn sure that I can do it. Oh no, I drank too much. I drank all of the chicken stock. Anyway, that's losing my religion, except in this one it's called drinking all the beef stock. You can pretty much just, this is a secret to a good parody, you just find a theme and then just, you know, run with it. You don't have to think too hard. Because, you know, it's like a word cloud. As soon as I say beef stock, like 250 words pop into your head, you know? Bone, skim, fat, warm, sick, cure, medicine, chicken noodle. You know, there's all sorts of, like, words that just already fit into the equation. But if you ever run into trouble, you could just be like, with every minute, with every waking hour, I'm drinking more beef stock. You could just keep it going, just by sheer absurdity and force of will. But that was stock of beef. It helps when you got a versatile word, too. Like beef is a really good word. It rhymes with so many other words because of that, you know, double E sound. Beef. I mean, they're half rhymes, but in music, that's good enough. Because I've been down this road before, but I hate the armchair poets out there who judge a singer-songwriter's quality based on, you know, their ability to rhyme music. You know what I mean? They always think like, oh, that's a half rhyme. This person's a bad songwriter. We don't judge paint on who's got the best stroke. That's for golf, okay? We don't judge food based on who's got the best pan. You know, think about, you know, some of the great American songwriters of all time. You know, like Paul Simon. She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that. As if I didn't know my own bed. As if I never noticed the way she swept my hair across my forehead. Now I'm realizing most of these actually do rhyme. But she said losing love is like a window in your heart. Everybody sees you fall apart. Everybody sees the wind blow. We're going to Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to Graceland. You get the idea. I don't know where else I'm going with this. Suffice it to say, Graceland. I mean, come on, if you haven't heard 1986's... probably my favorite album in 1986, Paul Simon's Graceland. It's got some Grace stuff on it. Yeah, I heard that maybe he was not necessarily the best person to work with from members of Ladysmith Black Mombasa, but still, you know, it's an album with a heart and a soul and an enduring legacy. Sure, I mean, what would come number 2? You probably gotta look at something like The Smiths' Queen is Dead. You know, I mean, There Is a Light and It Never Goes Out is a classic. You know, I Know It's Over. Oh, lover, I can feel the soil going over my head. Hold on, I think one of my cats might have trapped themselves in the bathroom. One moment. No, I think it's just a loud washing machine. Anyway, still getting used to the sounds that we're making in this place. I'm just saying, even though the anecdote I brought up rhymes, a lack of rhymes does not make for a bad singer-songwriter. And with a face like a dad and a laughable stare, you can sleep on the plane or review what you said. When you're drunk and the kids look impossibly tan, you'll think over and over, hey, I'm finally dead. No one knocks on James Murphy's door and says, hey, how about you and Kanye get together and keep it 300 like the Romans? What am I talking about? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, don't judge me. Judge you, dude. Don't judge me. Who are you to judge me? Oh, look at me. I don't watch 90 Day Fiancé. I'm too good for that. I watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure instead. Are you kidding me? I just walked over here. Blast him, dude. Okay, so this run is not quite at guaranteed status. But let's be real. Sack Dagger plus invincibility is a very, very good thing. Little could conceivably stop us right now. All that can really get us is rooms with tanky enemies, but we're not there yet. And some of the best rhymers in history, not my favorite artists. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Did something with the lady, I forgot her name. Something, 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 something chain. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Unforgettable lyrics. Words to live by? I don't know if I'd go that far. Take me down to the next floor. Okay, this is I mean, in the whole, you know, spectrum of Lost runs, this is one of those ones that you're like, this is a dang old dream come true, dude. And it's good, you know, I've been mentioning, but like, it's hard for me. Over the course of the past couple of weeks, I haven't really had time to get into a good recording mojo with Isaac because, you know, literally I'll record like one episode, stream, and then like that's, you know, I got other duties to accomplish. But those duties are starting to come to a head. I can get back in the groove. This is my third Isaac episode today, and I'm starting to feel it. I don't think we've discussed anything about this game over the course of that entire duration, for the record. I think that it is exclusively, don't risk it. We've exclusively discussed completely irrelevant stuff, largely relating to pop culture, which is totally fine, honestly. I mean, that's what we're here for, is the podcast. Talked about generational differences. What kind of fools would still choose to buy things in stores when you could buy them online instead? I got all sorts of opinions. You know the expression, opinions are like, you know what's, everybody's got one? Surely... You know what? Let me bust out my phone, okay? This is an important question. Give me a moment. Has anyone ever been born without a butthole? Holy crap. Chinese dude lived 55 years without an anus. Well, that answers that question. Can I just point out, I get the pun, don't get me wrong. But for an NBC News article to start with holy crap is just, it's a wildly inappropriate tone for a journalist to take. Why not just say, what the heck? Y'all gotta see this. Dude lived his whole life without a butthole. What a... That's crazy. Where's the... In shocking news tonight, the anusless man found dead after 55 years. Once mocked and derided for his smooth posterior. Recently, he had come to be lauded as a national hero for triumphing over adversity. We're gonna miss you. Anusless man. Thanks for the time you've given me. 'Cause you're once. We skipped number 2 on that one because he doesn't have an anus. It would have been insensitive. I'm not trying to mock the situation, okay? I'm really, more than anything else, I love the fact that the NBC News article starts, holy crap. And this might sound inappropriate, but there's kind of a beautiful phrase in there. Okay, Google. Has anyone ever been born without a butthole? Why does it sound like the start of a TED Talk? Imagine you were born without an imagination. What would that be like? Hi, I'm a local radio host. Here's my thoughts. No. That won't be necessary. Why they never show that in the commercial for OK Google. It's always dumb stuff. OK Google, order dog food. I can do that myself. I want hands-free stuff like OK Google. What's the fattest cat on record? No, not a list of world's billionaires. Google, go on Chapo, Google. Pop up. Oh, I shot him. Dude, this episode has been great. I don't say that about every episode. You know, the odd episode, I finish it and I go, we played Isaac. I never leave an episode and go, that was a disaster. But, sometimes I leave an episode and I'm like, we didn't really, talk about too much on that one. On this one, I'm like, we got, 3 pretty good, almost real jokes. That's such a better batting average than I'm used to. I'm on fire today. You guys are in for a real treat. So I'll tell you, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to go to the movies this week, which is unusual for me. Half kidding. But I really want to go see Knives Out, which is a problem, because my wife wants to go see Knives Out, but she also wants to see Frozen 2, which means we will be watching Frozen 2, and then at some point on a later date, watching Knives Out. I don't mind taking my wife to see a movie that I have no interest in. Sometimes I get surprised. Can I tell you? And sometimes it's not that big of a surprise, but I'll tell you, she really wanted to see Aladdin, the Disney remake. I went and I saw it with her. I've seen the trailer. I've seen the CGI. I expected it to be god-awful. At the end of the movie, I was like, that was okay. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of that movie. Would I give it a red tomato? It would be on the borderline. I would probably still give it a green tomato. But it's a pleasant green tomato. I liked it more than I liked the 2019 Lion King, which is just... basically has no reason to exist, and I recognize, that I saw it, but it's inessential. Let's put it that way. Yo, this could be spiced. You really got to stick in there for a minute. We have been hit. Take me out. I think we would have died. That was spiced. Battery charge, please. Maybe, I mean, from all accounts, from everything I've read online, I mean, it sounds like Frozen 2 is a decent movie. And I'm not here's the thing. If you're a young, single man, so many of you, I see it online, you're so concerned with your masculinity. You're so concerned with having, like, fake testosterone points taken away from you for reasons that make no sense. I mean, why do you think that these, like, TV dinners exist that are called, like, Hungry Man, you know? Hey, don't be like a little baby. You a little baby gonna eat vegetables? Our TV dinner comes with a pound of chicken in each one, you know? You gotta understand. That's a young man's game, is to be exclusively concerned with how your manliness appears to strangers online. You know, that's something you're concerned about when you're younger. If I had been streaming when I was 20, I probably would have been concerned with it as well, okay? Now that I'm married, I realize, you know, the measure of a man is the way that he treats other people. Does he act with integrity? You know, does he act in accordance with his own beliefs? Or, because there's let me put it this way. I don't want to necessarily get into complicated, toxic masculinity sort of stuff, but who's more manly? A man that eats a lot of meat because someone on the internet told him it's manly to eat meat, or a man who chooses not to eat meat because he looked within himself and said, I don't feel comfortable eating anything with the face. Even if I disagree on some level, or at least don't have the same lifestyle as the second man, I think it is more honorably manly to act according to your own principles instead of to principles that you derive from a secondhand source in the hopes of getting some kind of image bonus for it. That's my thoughts on masculinity. So I don't consider my masculinity being compromised by going to see a movie my wife wants to see. And that's why I've talked about it so much. But I really want to see Knives Out exclusively to pump up the box office numbers. I hear it's very good. But also, I think I could do a pretty good Daniel Craig doing a southern accent impression. These people are desperate. When they're desperate, the knives come out. How's that? I felt a little shiver coming down my spine when I did that. When they're desperate, the knives come out. Sorry, I leaned into that a little too much. But he does have a growl when he says it. When people are desperate, the knives come out. A little too quick off the cuff. Let me try again. These people are desperate. When people are desperate, the knives come out. That was better. I could take that as a good read. Alright, next scene. Chris Evans eating a box of cookies, yelling at his family. Anyway, I gotta go see that. That's all there is to it, really. Don't have any other bits there. The thing is, when people are running out of bits, the parodies come out. The impressions come out. People are desperate for entertainment. The primes come. When streamers are desperate for money, the primes come out. Look at it. You can make it work. You think I need a sounding board for banter? I'm my own sounding board. Alright, but I am out. When fish and chips is served, the forks and knives come out. Okay, that's enough. Look, I don't think we really need any of this. Can you just let me go to the chest and win the run so I can reach a level of Super Saiyanicity? It's never been experienced before by mankind. Chinese dude lived 55 years without an anus. That's gonna be on my Google search history forever. Apparently, so when I looked it up online, like just now with that Google Assistant, it said 1 in 20 people have been born with this kind of phenomenon. Which I don't disbelieve. Just keep rolling, dude. Did I say 1 in 20? That's... Sorry, I did too much math. Badly. What I meant was 1 in 5,000. Which then I thought in my hometown of 100,000 people would mean that there were 20 people with It called the anuses misplaced, which I honestly think is just an extremely funny sentence. Or like a children's novel. The misplaced anus. No, that was not a good time to use that. But it's not a funny novel. It's a real medical condition. Yeah, but nobody here has it. Someone does. It's from The Office. I also like the idea that a man died and they still said, holy crap. Like, the news story could have been, man tragically born, bereft of anus, anally bereaved, has passed away. Instead it said, holy crap, this weirdo made it this far? That's insane. Look, I just think that's kind of bad journalism, personally. What do I know, though? I don't have a bachelor's in English. I got a bachelor's degree in biology. Keep your conversations to 23andMe, Buster. Anyway, as of right now, everything is looking hunky-dory. We're getting random invincibility from Empty Vessel, which, to be honest, I forgot that was what was causing those random bouts of invincibility, but I'll take it. I'll also take this, and this, and this, but I don't really... I mean, Power Pill is actually pretty good. I'm very thankful that we got a run that makes us look better than we are by, you know, like we're gonna win as the Lost. Poggers, dude. But in reality, like, the entire spirit of this run was just pressing the spacebar now and then. And then, don't get me wrong, using the stars card to teleport out of the matriarch fight, I think that was a stroke of desperation. I brought my knives out. But I did think we had been hit. So that, literally, just that in and of itself saved the run. Have we been hit? We might have been hit again. Don't get too cocky in there. That would have been too ironic to be mad at. Okay. Everything's going okay. There's only a couple of rooms at this stage of the game that could actually throw you for a loop to begin with. Keep in mind you got the Power Pill. If things get rough, you just hit the Q button. It's right in my Q zone. I'm not sweating Death's List, because to be honest with you, our stats have basically no benefit whatsoever. Well, okay, that's ridiculous, but they have no impact, really, on our ability to succeed or fail. The only thing that really has an impact is, you know, can we get in there with our knives out? I'm just having fun, you know? I like a good whodunit. Last whodunit I saw, it was Murder on the Orient Express with Kenneth Branagh. For whatever reason, I actually really like Kenneth Branagh. I like his Hamlet adaptation, you know? I don't necessarily like Thor, like the first Thor movie, I should say. But, you know, it's shot in such a ham-fisted, unnecessarily Shakespearean style that it's almost endearing, just in terms of its sheer audacity. They were like, okay, we got a movie about the man that flies around in the arc reactor suit. We got a movie about a big green guy, hits people. We're gonna do Thor next. What should we do? How about Much Ado About Nothing? It's more filmed like Titus Andronicus, I suppose. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I told you, you don't need to constantly bring up the fact that you're aware of Titus Andronicus. The band nor the play. Nor the film starring Anthony Hopkins, who, by the way, was also in Thor, just saying. It'd be sick if Anthony Hopkins was in the band. He seems like a pretty, okay dude. I've seen his tweets. He's a wild man. Don't hit me. I'm Ryan. Thank you. Boss fight, perhaps? No, not yet. Don't be an idiot. The boss fight remains ever distant, constantly over the horizon, never quite passing into view. Look, I can do this all day. Chris Evans, Knives Out, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kenneth Branagh, William Shakespeare, and all of a sudden, William Shakespeare, of course, was a good friend of Jesus Christ. 6 Degrees of Jesus Christ. My favorite party game. It works every time. Daniel Sedin knows Henrik Sedin. Henrik Sedin is Jesus Christ. 6 Degrees of Jesus Christ. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!